Dear students, in my last class, I have defined a coefficient of linear expansion, and you have taken the expression for coefficient of linear expansion. Alpha is equal to L2 minus L1 by L1 of T2 minus T1 बोल के आप लोग ने दिया, and by this you got the expression for final length. L2 is equal to L1 of 1 plus alpha into delta T. So these two expressions you have taken yesterday. So this is about the coefficient of linear expansion. So like that only we will define coefficient of areal expansion and coefficient of volume expansion. And yesterday I have explained that on what factors does that linear expansion is depends. L2 minus L1 is nothing but linear expansion. The linear expansion is depends on initial or original length, change in temperature and scale of temperature, and also nature of the material. These are the three factors on which the linear expansion is depends. But coefficient of linear expansion is only depends on nature of the material and scale of temperature. It is independent of the initial or original length. The alpha value for a given material is fixed. It is. You need not to remember the alpha values. In the problem, the examiner will give the alpha values to us. Okay. Next, coefficient of areal expansion. It is denoted with the letter beta, coefficient of areal expansion. So what is the coefficient of areal expansion? How you define coefficient of linear expansion? Like that only, coefficient of areal expansion. The ratio of increase in area per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature to its original area. Let us assume that at T1 degree centigrade, the area of a plate is rectangular plate is say A1. At T2 degree centigrade, let final area of the plate is A2. Why I am taking A2? Because when the plate is heated, so the molecules are undergoes thermal expansion. Due to that, area of the plate is increases. So initial area minus final area is gives the value of increase in area. The ratio of increase in area or change in area for 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature to its original area is called as the coefficient of areal expansion, and it is denoted with the letter beta. Beta is equal to A2 minus A1 by A1 of T2 minus T1. A1 initial area, A2 final area. This is initial area, initial temperature, final temperature. This is coefficient of areal expansion. Please write down coefficient of areal expansion. The ratio of increase in area, the ratio of increase in area per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature to its initial area, is called coefficient of areal expansion. Coefficient of areal expansion. What you have written? The ratio of increase in area per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature to its initial area is called coefficient of areal expansion. Take this expression, write down this. After that, you can take like this also. You write down this expression. After that, this. Next expression for final area is this. How you have taken yesterday? You just cross multiply. Beta A1 into delta T is equal to A2 minus A1. You send minus A1 to the other side, it becomes plus A1. So then A2 is equal to A1 of 1 plus beta into delta T. Delta T means rise of temperature, change in temperature, final temperature minus initial temperature. Next, coefficient of volume expansion. It is denoted with the letter gamma. It is denoted with the letter gamma. So when a substance is heated, its length is changes, its area is changes. Similarly, its volume is also changes. The ratio of increase in volume per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature to its original volume is called as the coefficient of volume expansion. समझ में आया ना? What is meant by coefficient of volume expansion? The ratio of increase in volume per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature to its original volume is called as the coefficient of volume expansion. Suppose V1 is the volume of a material or volume of a body at T1 degree centigrade, and V2 is the volume of the body at T2 degree centigrade. Then the coefficient of volume expansion is defined as increase in volume per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature to its original volume. And you can take this as delta V by V into delta T. Expression for final volume. This is V2 is equal to V1 of 1 plus gamma into delta T. Please note down this. Please note down this. Now, this is very, very important relation between alpha and beta. Can any one of you tell what is the relation between beta, alpha and beta? What is relation between alpha and beta in the 11th class? In the 11th class, all of you derived this expression alpha is to beta is to gamma is equal to 1 is to 2 is to 3.
1 is to 2 is to 3.
And you derived that beta is equal to 2 alpha, gamma is equal to 3 alpha. और एक बार वो देख लीजिए वो कैसे आया बोल के. So let us consider a cube of side 1 meter. Don't write anything, just listen. This is a cube of side 1 meter. This is a cube of side 1 meter. 1 meter in length, 1 meter in breadth. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. This is also 1 meter. 1 meter in length, 1 meter in width, and 1 meter in height. This is a cube of side 1 meter. So then what is the initial, just to listen here, what is the initial length of each side? Initial length of each side is 1 meter it is. Because this side length is 1 meter, this side is 1 meter, this side is 1 meter. Initial length of each side is 1 meter. Next, initial area of each face. Area bole to length into breadth. This is one face. You know that a cube consists of 6 faces. This is one face. So 1 meter into 1 meter, 1 meter square. Initial area of each face. Similarly, initial volume of the cube. Initial volume of the cube. What is the volume? Length into breadth into height. Length is 1 meter, breadth is 1 meter, height is 1 meter. So you are getting 1 meter cube you are getting. Say this is at room temperature, say this is at T1 degree centigrade. Now what I am doing is, I am increasing the temperature of this cube by 1 degree centigrade. I am increasing the temperature of this cube by 1 degree centigrade. Then what happens? The final length of each side, will it remains constant? Suppose if I increase the temperature of this cube by 1 degree centigrade, is the length of each side is remains constant or increases or decreases? बोलना है अंजलि. अंजलि,
Yes, sir.
क्वेश्चन समझ में आया ना मैडम?
सर एक बार फिर से बोलो.
मैं क्यूब ऑफ साइड 1 मीटर ले रहे. आई एम टेकिंग ए क्यूब ऑफ साइड 1 मीटर. Length of each side is 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter only. Now it is at room temperature. Say now you are increased the temperature by 1 degree centigrade. Temperature of this cube by 1 degree centigrade. Assume that you kept for few seconds in a furnace and you are increased the temperature of this cube by only 1 degree centigrade. Then
Sir, your mic is off.
the length of each side is remains constant or increases or decreases? Anjali,
Increases.
increases because it is a thermal expansion. It is the length of each side is increases. How much it is becomes? How much it is becomes? So you know that L2 is equal to L1 of 1 plus alpha into delta T. L1 is 1 meter. 1 plus alpha. Delta T is also 1 degree centigrade. I have increased the temperature also by 1 degree centigrade. So therefore, this is 1 into 1 plus alpha. Therefore, I will get 1 plus alpha meter I will get. So next, final length of each side. How much you will get? 1 plus alpha meter. This is final length. L2 you can take 1 plus alpha meter. Next, final area. Final area of each face. कितना है? अभी इसका लेंथ भी 1 प्लस अल्फा हो गया, इसका लेंथ भी 1 प्लस अल्फा हो गया. 1 प्लस अल्फा इंटू 1 प्लस अल्फा, 1 प्लस अल्फा होल स्क्वायर मीटर स्क्वायर हो जाते. नेक्स्ट, फाइनल वॉल्यूम ऑफ द क्यूब. व्हाट इज फाइनल वॉल्यूम? इस साइड का लेंथ अभी 1 प्लस अल्फा हो गया. आफ्टर राइजिंग दिस इज 1 प्लस अल्फा, दिस इज आल्सो 1 प्लस अल्फा, दिस इज आल्सो 1 प्लस अल्फा. 1 plus alpha into 1 plus alpha into 1 plus alpha. 1 plus alpha whole cube meter cube you will get. Any doubt up to here, my dear students? किसी को कुछ भी डाउट है क्या इधर तक?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. What is my definition? This is L1, this is A1, this is V1, this is L2, this is A2, this is V2. Because final length, final area, final volume, initial length, initial area, initial volume. So what is the definition of beta? The definition of beta is equal to A2 minus A1 by A1 of T2 minus T1. But in our problem, what is A2? A2 is nothing but 1 plus alpha whole square. A1 is how much? 1. This is 1. T2 minus T1 is also 1. This is A plus B whole square. A square plus B square plus 2AB. By 1 mean 1 only. Plus 1 minus 1 is cancelled, which is equal to you are getting alpha square plus 2 alpha you are getting. Beta is equal to. You are getting beta is equal to alpha plus 2 alpha square plus 2 alpha you are getting. The alpha value is in the order of 10 to the power of minus 6. Please remember this. For most of the materials, the value of alpha in the range of 10 power minus 6. Suppose if you take aluminium, it may be 13 into 10 power minus 6. Brass, 15 into 10 power minus 6. Any other material, 101 into 10 power minus 6. Like that you will get. So if को अगर स्क्वायर किए ना आप, ये क्या हो जाता है? 10 power minus 12 हो जाते. If alpha is this much, alpha square is 10 power minus 12 you will get. The alpha square value is too small. Comparing to alpha square is too small. Hence it is neglected. If you neglect this, then you are getting beta is equal to 2 alpha you are getting. Are you followed, my dear students? So therefore beta is equal to 2 alpha. Now you will take the relation as the relation between beta and alpha is beta is equal to 2 alpha. Next, relation between alpha and gamma. Gamma is equal to 3 alpha. Next, this is the final one. Relation between alpha, beta and gamma. Alpha is to beta is to gamma is equal to alpha. I am taking as alpha only. Beta is nothing but 2 alpha. Gamma is nothing but 3 alpha. This is equal to 1 is to 2 is to 3 you will get. Alpha is to beta is to gamma is equal to 1 is to 2 is to 3. Or you can also write as alpha by 1 is equal to beta by 2 is equal to gamma by 3 also you can write. How? You take alpha, this relation you take, what is alpha? Beta by 2. Mean alpha is equal to I am getting beta by 2. How I am getting alpha here? Alpha is equal to gamma by 3. Mean alpha is equal to beta by 2 also you are getting, gamma by 3 also you are getting. Therefore alpha by 1 is equal to beta by 2 is equal to gamma by 3. And another relation is I can write it as gamma is equal to beta plus alpha or alpha plus beta also you can write. Since beta is equal to 2 alpha plus alpha 3 alpha, therefore gamma is equal to 3 alpha also I can write. This is one important relation. This is another important relation. So this is another important relation. So all these three are different forms of the relation between alpha, beta and gamma. Please note down this. Note down all this. Derive few expressions, few relations which are very, very important. So which are given already in the different competitive exams. For example, this is one rod. This is one rod. Its length is something, and it is made with some material. Let its coefficient of linear expansion is alpha 1. This is another rod made with different material. This is made with different material. It is. Its length is L2 and its coefficient of linear expansion is alpha 2. I am considering two different rods having different lengths made with different materials. Different rods mean different materials only. So there is certain change in length between them. The second rod is this much length more than the first rod. This is called change in length. This part is called change in length. Okay, na? My question is the condition to maintain same change in length between two different rods at all temperatures. This is I am taking at say 20 degrees centigrade. That is at room temperature. Say 20 degrees centigrade is room temperature. At room temperature, the change in length between these two rods is I am taking some 2 centimeter or something I am taking. This is 2 centimeter. Now I am rising temperature to 30 degrees centigrade also. You can rise up to 50 degrees centigrade also. You can rise up to 100 degrees centigrade also. You can rise up to 150 degrees centigrade also. So even at this temperature also, I want to get the same change in length. This temperature also, same change in length. This temperature also, same change in length. Please write down. Derive expression for, or expression for, or condition for, condition to maintain same change in length. Condition to maintain same change in length between two different rods at all temperatures. Condition to maintain same change in length between two different rods at all temperatures. So what I want same change in length. Mean the change in length of the first rod must be equal to change in length of the second rod. Change in length of the first rod must be equal to change in length of the second rod. What is expression for change in length? You know that alpha is equal to delta L by L into delta T. Therefore, general formula for delta L, change in length, is L alpha into delta T. Here for first rod, first change in length in first rod is equal to length of the initial length of the first rod, alpha of the first rod, difference in temperature of the first rod. That is, I can write it as L1 alpha 1 delta T. This is L2 alpha 2 delta T. These two are cancelled. Therefore, L1 alpha 1 is equal to L2 alpha 2. This is the condition to maintain same change in length between two different rods at all temperatures. Next, pendulum clocks. Most important concept, right? So this is one pendulum clock. This is a clock actually. This is 12 o'clock. This is 6 o'clock. This is 3 o'clock. This is 9 o'clock. This is a pendulum clock. The pendulum will move to and fro about its mean position. The pendulum will move to and fro about its mean position. This is a pendulum clock. The pendulum clocks will show the correct time, the temperature at which they are graduated. Graduated means prepared. The pendulum clocks will show the same time, mean correct time, the temperature at which they are graduated. For example, a pendulum clock is prepared at say 20 degrees centigrade, and now you are using this is at say 30 degrees centigrade. Then variation of temperature is there. Due to variation in temperature, the length of the pendulum clock is increases. When length of the pendulum clock is increases, time period of the pendulum clock is increases. When time period of the pendulum clock is increases, it may or may not make same number of oscillations as before. For example, assume that it is a pendulum clock of time period 1 second. If the time period is 1 second, mean how many oscillations will it make in 1 second? 86,400 seconds it will make in one day. How many oscillations will it make in 1 day? Assume that it is a pendulum clock of time period 1 second. So therefore this clock, this pendulum will make how many oscillations in a day? So it will make 86,400 oscillations. Okay na? So what is the time period of the pendulum clock? Because the pendulum is executing simple harmonic motion, the time period of the simple pendulum is given as T is equal to 2 pi into root of L by G. This is the expression which you are derived. You must know this expression first of all. The time period of the pendulum clock is given as T is equal to 2 pi into root of L by G. What is L here? L is the length of the pendulum. What is the length of the pendulum? Is the length of the pendulum is equal to the length of the thread? Is the length of the pendulum is equal to the length of the thread?
Yes, sir.
Next, any others? Wrong it is. Length of the pendulum mean it is the separation distance between point of suspension to the center of the bob. In 11th class, you might be conducted an experiment in determining the acceleration due to gravity at your place. By this expression only you are calculated acceleration due to gravity at your place. So G is equal to, by this equation, squaring both the sides, G is equal to 4p square L by T square you will get. This is the expression. Experimentally, you are finding time taken for one oscillation. Actually, time period for 20 oscillations you will calculate. By dividing with 20, you are getting time period of one oscillation. Here, L is length of the pendulum. What is length of the pendulum? Length of the pendulum is nothing but just only length of the thread. It is the separation distance between point of suspension to the center of the bob. This is called length of the pendulum. This is not the length of the pendulum. This is not the length of the pendulum. This is the length of the pendulum. Length of the pendulum is nothing but separation distance between point of suspension to the center of mass of the bob. This is the length of the pendulum. Okay. So, suppose you are assuming a pendulum clock of time period 1 second, mean it is making one oscillation in 1 second. Therefore, in 1 day, how many oscillations will it make? 86,400 oscillations it will make. Now, I want to know, suppose temperature is increased. Say it is at room temperature, say 25 centigrade. Now you are taking at 35 degrees centigrade. At 35 degrees centigrade, do you think that length of the pendulum remains constant?
No.
The pendulum clock, the pendulum is made with metal. In pendulum clocks, the pendulum is made with metal. Therefore, when temperature is increases, length of the pendulum is increases. Don't think that it is increases by 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter or 10 centimeter. It is increases by 0.002 millimeter, 0.0005 millimeter. उतने ही increase हो जाते. Don't think that it don't appear, that length don't appear to you. You can't recognize with your eyes. समझ में आया ना? Suppose when temperature is increased, when temperature increase हो गई तो length क्या होता? Increase हो जाते. Length increase हो गई तो time period भी क्या होता? Increase हो जाता है. Now instead of 1 second, assume that now period is 1.2 seconds. पहले time period of one oscillation था 1 second. Now time period of one oscillation let it as 1.2 seconds. Now with this time period, will it make again 86,400 oscillations in a day?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Will it get more oscillations or less oscillations?
More oscillations.
Less
No,
oscillation.
no.
Less
Less
oscillations.
oscillations. Time period is increases. Time period is increases means so number of oscillations are decreases. Therefore, number of oscillations are decreases means that it loses the time. Means that in this summer season, a pendulum clock loses the time. In the summer season, a pendulum clock loses the time. Means that exact time is 1 o'clock, but that pendulum clock don't show 1 o'clock. It may show 12:50, yeah, 12:55 like that. Similarly, in the winter, what happens? In the winter, temperature is false. When temperature is false, length is decreases because it undergoes contraction. Temperature is increases, undergoes expansion. Temperature decreases, it undergoes contraction. When it undergoes contraction, time period is also decreases. Suppose if it is time period is 0.9 seconds, assume that now time period is becomes 0.9 seconds, not 1 second, less than 1 second. When time period is decreases, number of oscillations are increases. So therefore, a pendulum clock gains the time. So therefore, in summer, a pendulum clock loses the time, and in winter, a pendulum clock gains the time. Now we want to derive the expression for time gained or time lost by the pendulum clock. Time gained or time lost by the pendulum clock. Assume that it is a pendulum clock, okay, at T1 degree centigrade, the length of the pendulum clock is say L1. Now you are increasing temperature to T2 degree centigrade. Due to that, its length is also increases to L2. Therefore, time period of the pendulum clock is given as T is equal to 2 pi into root of L by G. This is constant, this is constant. Therefore, time period is directly proportional to root L. Time period at second temperature to the time period at first temperature is equal to length of the pendulum second time to the length of the pendulum at first time. Length of the pendulum at T1 degree centigrade, length of the pendulum at T2 degree centigrade it is. So if you calculate this, T2 by T1 is equal to, you will get it as, you know what is expression for L2. L2 is equal to L1 of 1 plus alpha into delta T by L1. L1 cancel ho jate. T2 by T1 is equal to 1 plus alpha into delta T. ये square root है, power of 1 by 2 लिख सकते मैं. This is in the form of 1 plus x whole to the power of n. 1 plus x whole to the power of n is equal to 1 plus nx बोल के हम लोग लिख सकते. This I can write it as, this is 1, this is x. 1 plus x whole to the power of n. 1 plus nx. N is equal to this much. X is equal to this much. This is T2 by T1. T2 by T1, you send 1 to this side, minus 1 is equal to of alpha into delta T. Please you note down up to here, my dear students. Okay, now continue this step. If you take LCM, T2 minus T1 by T1 is equal to of alpha into delta T. T2 minus T1 is equal to of alpha into delta T into, or capital T you can, or T1 you can write. Therefore, delta T is equal to of alpha into delta T into capital T. This is the expression for time gained or time lost. The expression for time gained or time lost is of alpha into delta T into capital T, where capital T is given time. The given time may be 1 hour, maybe 1 day, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 5 seconds. For 1 day, what is time gained or time lost? Of into alpha into delta T into 86,400 seconds, which is equal to, these two are cancelled, 43,200 into alpha into delta T. This is the time gained or time lost in 1 day it is. This is the time gained or time lost in 1 day. Time gained or time lost in 1 day it is. Here what is this? Given time. What is delta T? Difference in temperature. This is difference in temperature. This is given time. Coefficient of linear expansion. This is time gained or time lost. The time gain or time loss. The expression for time gained or time loss, general expression is of alpha into delta T into capital T. This is the expression for time gained or time lost by the pendulum clock. Next, thermal stress. Thermal stress. This is a relation between thermal expansion of solids and elasticity, my dear students. You must have the basics of elasticity also. You must have the basics of thermal expansion of materials also. Why stress is created? For example, this is one wire which is fixed between two rigid supports. This is a wire or rod. This is a rod which is fixed between two rigid supports. Now tension in the rod, say now it is T. This is tension in the rod is T. Now assume that temperature is decreased. When temperature is decreases, The rod, because the rod is made with metal, the rod undergoes contraction. But these rigid supports do not allow for contraction, free contraction or free expansion. As the rigid supports not allowing for the contraction, then tension in the string is, or tension in the rod is increases. That stress created only is called as the thermal stress. The stress created in the wire or rod due to variation in temperature is called thermal stress. What is meant by stress? Stress is nothing but force acting per unit area. Force acting per unit area is called as the stress. So when temperature is changes, the stress is also changes. Due to variation in temperature, stress produced in the wire is changes, and it is called thermal stress. In the elasticity, you are studied about Young's modulus. What is Young's modulus? It is the ratio of longitudinal stress to longitudinal strain. Stress by strain. This is the expression for Young's modulus. Stress is nothing but F by L. Strain is nothing but delta L by L. F by A. Force per unit area this is. Therefore, stress is equal to Y into strain. Stress is equal to Y into strain. That is equal to Y into strain is how much? Delta L by L. This is, what is delta L? Change in length. What is L? Initial length. Change in length by initial length, which is called longitudinal strain. So what is delta L by L? You know that alpha is equal to delta L by L into delta T. Therefore, delta L by L is equal to alpha into delta T. Therefore, if you take this stress, F by A is equal to Y into delta L by L is nothing but alpha into delta T. Therefore, thermal stress F by A is equal to Y alpha into delta T. This is the expression for thermal stress. This is the expression for thermal stress. समझ में आया ना?
Yes, sir.
This is expression for thermal force.